Hey everyone, it's Michelle. In today's video, I will be reviewing some products from Regimen Lab. I have been rotating their Vitamin X Serum, the Wave Serum, and C.R.E.A.M, otherwise known as C.R.E.A.M, in my skincare routine for the past few months, I would say since end of July, beginning of August, and I'm ready to share my thoughts with you all. So I first heard about this brand from Sarah of No BS Beauty. She mentioned it in her indie skincare favorites, and I was surprised that there was such a reputable brand from Toronto, Canada, which is where I'm from. And then a couple of weeks later, I'm sure as many of us saw, Dr. Dre did a full brand review on all the products. So I was very curious at this point as to what Regimen Lab had to offer. So I went onto their website, checked them out, and I was pleasantly surprised. So not only do they have a really nice curation of products, very purposeful, a good cocktail of star ingredients in their formulas, they also have an encyclopedia of skincare ingredients. A lot of the ingredients actually I've never heard of before in this list. And I also found their blog posts super informative. So just a really nice all-rounder place for not only a good collection of skincare products, but I also felt like I learned something new while browsing their website. So as I've just mentioned, I purchased the Vitamin X and Wave Serum as well as C.R.E.A.M because I felt like they were the most suited for my skincare routine, my skin needs. I've been using these products on and off for the past few months. I would say the Vitamin X Serum has been the most consistent. I used it almost on a daily basis, whereas the Wave Serum and C.R.E.A.M, I just used it when I felt like my skin needed it and just so I get an idea of what these were doing for my skin. Having said that, let's get started with this review, starting off with some common denominators about just the brand in general and the products. So they are based in Toronto, Canada. That is where the products are made. They are cruelty-free, as you can see. The packaging is in opaque white airless pumps with a pull-off cap. The one product that is different from these is, I believe, their cleanser, which is not in an airless pump bottle. Another thing is all products come with information cards. So as you can see, there is a description of the product, how to use it, and then you flip it over. You see the key ingredients as well as the full ingredients list. For me personally, I do have a bit of a hard time reading what's on the packaging, especially if everything is around the same color and there's not a lot of contrast. So much appreciated to a card like this, which has a very good font size and a good contrast so I can read everything comfortably. So on top of the information cards for each product, they also come with these additional two right here, which is just general info about the brand, their products, and how to use them all together, how to patch test, all that good stuff when you're introducing something new into your skincare routine. Now getting into each individual product, I'm going to be starting off with the Vitamin X Serum, moving on to the Wave Serum, and then C.R.E.A.M. That is how I would personally use it in my skincare routine, so I figured that order is best. If you're curious about a specific product, I'll leave timestamps down below, but much appreciated if you watch the entire video. It definitely helps out my channel. So having said that, let's get right into the review of the Vitamin X Serum. On Regimen Lab's website, they state that the Vitamin X Serum is packed with more antioxidants in the highest clinically proven concentrations than anything before it. It's the antioxidant of the future, but we got it here a little sooner. This retails for 59 Canadian dollars, 47 US dollars, and it's in a 30 ml size. Moving on to ingredients, I'm going to be looking at my computer monitor for this, and actually I'll be doing that for all the ingredient portions of these products because there's a lot to go through. So there are 11 antioxidants in the Vitamin X Serum, 3 of which I'm the most familiar with, and that is L-ascorbic acid, tocopherol, and ferulic acid. So usually in my skincare routine, I like using a vitamin C serum with this trifecta, and on top of that, it has to be at a low pH. So what is really nice about the Vitamin X Serum is that they have all these 3 ingredients and the pH level of the serum is at a 3.0. 0. Regimen Lab actually gives the pH level for all their products, and you could even find it conveniently on the packaging here. So for the L-ascorbic acid, it does show rather high in the list, but they don't give the percentage of it. They give percentages for some of the other antioxidants, but not for the L-ascorbic acid. However, I did see that Regimen Lab was having a Q&A session on their Instagram, so I took that opportunity to ask what the percentage was of the L-ascorbic acid, and they responded with 15%. I know this is not a vitamin C serum, this is an antioxidant serum, but for those of us that are looking for a good concentration of the L-ascorbic acid with the tocopherol ferulic acid at a low pH, this has it. Now moving on to the rest of the antioxidants, there is also epigallocatechin galates, so EGCG. There is also resveratrol, quercetin, and hesperidin methyl chalcone, which are antioxidants that have soothing properties. For me, this is definitely a nice to have because my skin is sensitive to high concentrations of L-ascorbic acid with a low pH, and spoiler alert, I do find this a fairly gentle serum, so those antioxidants with soothing properties are most definitely a nice to have for me. Some more antioxidants in the formula. This one I've never heard of before. It's 2% acetylzingerone, which helps to reduce immediate and delayed DNA damage. There is dimethyl methoxychromanol, which provides double scavenging action against reaction, nitrogen, and oxygen species. There's genistein, which helps reduce UVB-induced redness, and silymarin, which adds some skin conditioning. There's also glycerin in the formula, which is a wonderful humectant to have in any skincare product. That is it for the ingredients. Now moving on to my experience with the Vitamin X serum. So how I would use this in my routine is, as usual, after the hydrator step before another serum or moisturizer. That's how I prefer to use a vitamin C serum in my skincare routine. If you're curious as to what that looks like, I'll leave a link up in the cards for you to check out. Anyways, I find one full pump is enough for all over my face and neck. And as I've mentioned prior, I felt no stinging sensation from this product. The first couple of uses, I did feel some type of sensation, but it wasn't stinging, it wasn't irritating my skin. And then after those first handful of uses, I don't feel anything when using this product. It is, for the most part, fairly gentle for me. In terms of the texture, it is not a watery serum like the Geek and Gorgeous Sea Glow or the Timeless Vitamin C Serum. I would say it's a little bit thicker than the SkinCeuticals Floritin CF. It had a little bit of a slip to it from what I remember, and the same goes with this. And I feel like it's in part not just all the antioxidants in the formula, but the glycerin as well. It's still rather thin, but there is a bit of like a moisturizing layer going on with this once you apply it. And I do feel that once I let it sit on my skin, there is a skin conditioning effect. One thing that threw me off about this serum is that it dispenses as a neon yellow color when you first start using it. Regimen Lab does guarantee that it is non-oxidized. That is what the color is supposed to look like. So I threw away my biases of using a clear colored vitamin C serum because this is a serum with not just L-ascorbic acid, but with other antioxidants in the mix, so I didn't want to judge it based on the color of the serum. So for the most part, it's performing how I expected based on my experience with using vitamin C serums, but with having way more antioxidant protection. However, I do feel like now that I'm near the end of this bottle, I am experiencing the con of the formula, and it's that the vitamin C in this is oxidizing. Now, while I know that you can use vitamin C serums in general, even when there is a bit of yellow showing, I do find that I'm noticing way more blackheads on my nose, around my nose here, and I noticed quite a bit on my chin here. My skincare routine in the morning has been the same. I haven't changed up any of the products. The only difference is that this started oxidizing a little bit. So that is the one major con. If you're wondering why I did not put this in the refrigerator, Regimen Lab advises not to. They tested this at room temperature. Also, the texture is a little bit different, so I don't think it may do well in the fridge compared to a very watery vitamin C serum like the Geek and Gorgeous Sea Glow. So having said that, again, that is the one big con for me, is that this will oxidize in the few months that you have it. But by using 1 pump a day, maybe even 2, you will go through the Vitamin X serum in a timely manner. Overall, I do recommend the Vitamin X serum. I think it performs exactly how I want it to in my skincare routine. It provides the benefits that I get from vitamin C, but with a lot more antioxidant power. It's just that one con with it oxidizing rather quickly, and I didn't refrigerate this. That is a little bit of a downer for me. I would consider repurchasing it just because I really do like the overall formula and how it performs in my skincare routine. But I do want to get a bit more mileage out of it. I don't want it to last within 3 months. So I am going back to the Geek and Gorgeous Sea Glow serum for now, because when refrigerated, I do find it lasts longer than 3 months. And I want to see if by adding the NIOD Survival Zero serum, that will amplify the antioxidant protection in my skincare routine and maybe just hopefully last longer in general. Otherwise, if I did not know about the NIOD Survival Zero serum, and if I wasn't missing the Geek and Gorgeous Sea Glow serum, I would most definitely repurchase the Vitamin X serum, but use it up in a more timely manner. All right, that is it for the review of the Vitamin X serum. Now moving on to the Wave serum. So on Regimen Lab's website, Wave hydrates instantly and deeply, uses multi-molecular weight hyaluronic acid to penetrate each layer of the skin. We designed it to mimic the skin's moisture barrier using 24 humectants for intense hydration and plant and marine hyaluronics to lock in that moisture. The result is a serum that hydrates as effectively and deeply as scientifically possible. This retails for 47 Canadian dollars, 37 US dollars in a 30 ml bottle, and the pH is a 5.3 to a 5.5, so similar to our Skin Zone Acid Mantle. Moving on to the ingredients list, I would describe the Wave serum as a crazy cocktail of proven humectant molecules that are part of our natural moisturizing factors, as well as what we can get from plant and marine derived molecules. And I will go through what I think are some of the highlights, and it's pretty much the entire ingredients list. But the first two that I want to mention is that this has 5% urea and 5% hydroxyethyl urea. So urea is probably one of my favorite humectants because it not only holds on to moisture in our skin, I find really good skin conditioning benefits from a good concentration of urea. Also, it's supposed to help our skin's desquamation process, so our skin's natural cell shedding process, and to help thicken our skin barrier. I've noticed the benefits of using urea and from using this Wave serum, but we'll get into that in a second. Either way, I love having urea in my skincare routine. So in addition to the 5% urea and 5% hydroxyethyl urea, the Wave serum also has 5% sodium hyaluronate cross polymer, glycerin, betaine, 2% sodium PCA and sodium lactate, and 1% sodium hyaluronate. So great humectants that'll help our skin hold onto water and just give us a more plump appearance. The Wave serum also contains 1% panthenol, which is a humectant as well as a great skin soothing and wound healing ingredient. On top of the wound healing and soothing benefits, there's also 0.5% centella asiatica constituents, so the asiaticoside, metacassic acid, and asiatic acid. These not only have the soothing wound healing benefits, but there are some antioxidant properties in it as well. And for the rest of beneficial ingredients, there are a bulk of amino acids in the formula. So based on everything I said right now, this is just a humectant powerhouse. Now moving on to my experience using the Regimen Lab Wave serum. So how I would like to use this in my skincare routine, it would be after the Vitamin X serum before moisturizer if I felt like I needed some more moisturizing power in my skincare routine. Now that we're in the colder months, I do find myself reaching for this a lot more because I do find that the finish of this is rather emollient. The texture is not a runny gel. I don't like that in a supplemental moisturizing product that is in a serum form. For something that's more runny, I like it in a lotion, and it comes in a larger bottle. This, it's just a nice gel. It is a little bit runny, but when you massage it into your skin, it is nice and thick. So I personally like this type of hydrating serum texture. So just like the Vitamin X serum, when I first started using the Wave serum, I did feel something happening to my skin. It wasn't sensitizing my skin, but there was a sensation. And again, after the first handful of uses, I don't feel anything when using this product. And for the most part, it is rather gentle. I really like how instantly it conditions my skin. I do notice the plumping effect, and I found that before I got the CO2 Fraxel laser done, it was making my pores look smaller because it was just filling my skin cells with moisture. So I really like the effect that this was giving my skin, not just in terms of the feel, but appearance as well. And I found it maintained my skin's moisture levels throughout the day. My skin doesn't feel dehydrated when I use the Wave serum. For my final thoughts for the Wave serum, this is not only my now go-to hydrating serum, but it is the urea product that I have been looking to incorporate in my skincare routine. So typically I don't like using a dedicated hydrating serum just because I find any serum has humectants in the formula and adds some sort of hydration, but it is the urea in this that makes a difference for me because I do really notice that skin conditioning effect, and I also like the visible effects that I see with this serum. So this will probably be on constant rotation in my skincare routine right now, and I do plan on repurchasing once I run out. And last but not least, we have C.R.E.A.M. I am going to be calling it C.R.E.A.M because it's just easier for this review. On the Regimen Lab website, C.R.E.A.M is based on game-changing research that gives us a new understanding of how moisture moves through the skin. We use high concentration ceramides to better replenish your skin's natural barrier and aquaporins to help generate and lock in moisture. So this is in a 50 ml bottle retailing for 49 Canadian dollars, 39 US dollars, and the pH is at a 4.5 to 5.0. Moving on to ingredients, what appealed to me the most about this product is that it claims to have the 3:1:1:1 ratio of ceramides, cholesterol, and fatty acids. Now, if you recall my review from a couple of years ago on some CeraVe skincare products, I think all of us that are interested in skincare have probably stumbled across that Reddit post about how ceramides in skincare are a scam because usually it doesn't have the correct ratio of the ceramides, cholesterol, and fatty acids. Now, knowing that, I still love the Bioderma Atoderm Intensive Balm because even though it doesn't have probably the proper concentration of the ceramides, cholesterol, and fatty acids, it's still the best moisturizer I've personally ever tried, and I continue to use 5 bottles later. But seeing that Regimen Lab came out with a product with this ratio, I just wanted to crush that curiosity and see what it was all about. So Regimen Lab says there's a total of 5% of barrier lipids in this formula, 2.5% of it being the ceramides. And from my understanding on the number they gave me and based on what's in their ingredient list, it has the 2.5% of ceramides, it has the cholesterol and phospholipids, has linoleic acid, and it also has linoleic acid as well as stearic acid. So it's those ingredients that make up the 3:1:1:1 ratio of C.R.E.A.M. I'm not 100% sure it's those ingredients in particular, but it's just based on my understanding of what this ratio is about. Please correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section down below, but that's how I'm understanding what the 5% is in this formula. C.R.E.A.M also contains 5% glycerin, again, an amazing superstar humectant to have in any skincare product, but we now know the concentration of it. This also has 2% isosorbide dicaprolate and 2% glyceryl glucoside, which according to Regimen Lab help activate more efficient hydration alongside the glycerin. This also contains 2% bisabolol, which is a nice soothing ingredient. Also 2% ursolic acid liposomes, which again, according to Regimen Lab, helps support the skin barrier. And last but not least, there's tocopherol in the formula, vitamin E, which is a nice antioxidant. That is it for the ingredients. Now moving on to my usage and experience with cream. So I've used this in a few ways. I first used it as a moisturizer, especially in the summer months, because I do find this a little bit lighter than the Bioderma Atoderm Intensive Balm. So I used it as a moisturizer in the summer. I did also try mixing it with the Wave Serum, and I tried to use it as a standalone supplemental moisturizing product in my skincare routine, so right before moisturizer. I tried it in these 3 ways, and I can't really say I've noticed a huge difference in my skin's quality. So as a standalone moisturizer, I didn't find it was enough. My skin actually would feel dry throughout the day, especially if I stayed inside. But in the summer months, when I was more out and about, excreting a little bit more of my natural oils, I found that this was fine as a moisturizer in that regard. But if I used it at nighttime, I woke up with my skin feeling dry and tight. So as a standalone moisturizer, overall, not my favorite. I still stick with my go-to. When I tried mixing these two together to just amplify the supplemental moisture for my skincare routine, I did not like mixing it. The textures are just way too different. So this comes out as a thick cream, whereas the Wave Serum, it is in a emollient gel type of formula. And I do like the finish of this, how it spreads. It's a nice velvety finish on the skin, definitely suitable for the summer months. And I really like that finish myself, but I've come to accept that I need to look like a glazed donut to feel like my skin is satisfyingly moisturized. So again, as a moisturizer, not enough. Didn't like how these two combined together because it was just too different of texture. As a standalone supplemental moisturizing product, I mean, it did perform. It added that layer of moisture to my skin, especially if I was using a moisturizer over top. But it still comes down to, I don't really know what this did for my skin. And I'm almost done with the product. From what I last checked, it's right up here. So I used almost all 50 milliliters of it, and I'm still not sure what it does for my skin. Whereas the Wave Serum, from the first use and with continuous use, I know what it does. So overall, cream is a nice formula. I really like the velvety finish. It did provide some moisture to my skin. I just think it doesn't suit my skin needs at this moment. On the contrary, if you feel like you have an impaired skin barrier and maybe you have a more oilier leaning skin type, or your skin is way more normal, it's not easily dehydrated and dried out like mine is, you may have better results with this than I did. And that is it for this review of some of the Regimen Lab skincare products. As always, I hope you find videos like this helpful and informative. If you did, please be sure to give the video a like, subscribe to my channel down below for future videos. Leave a comment if you have any questions, recommendations, or if you've tried any of the products I mentioned, other Regimen Lab products, what your experiences were, the good and the bad. Let me and everyone else know down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Ciao.